Hey, I'm Jay, and I've got something to say about Wildspire Miniatures Encounters Classic Creatures. So, little background. Wildspire actually bought the rights to Blacklist games, Fantasy Series 1 and 2. They have the molds for Fantasy Series 1, and they have the 3D models for Fantasy Series 2. So they also sell a combined set that's both of these together. But so the Blacklist Kickstarter was originally like $80 for 5 of each of these, and so you can see there's four of each. The website shows it a little bit better. There's 4 of each of these. Blacklist had 5 of each, and there's also about 20 player characters that are missing. But we have a box, so they come just pretty well packed in here. Each one comes with like 3 large, or a few large and a huge. So this is their Hill Giant. This is the biggest WizKids Hill Giant that fits in the box, so that's pretty in scale. I mean, this guy's a little more stout, this lady's a little more tall, hard as a brick. The bases are the right size there, so that's pretty good. Reaper and Archon Studios, again, pretty much, this is pretty good scale. They have some Frost Giants. Reaper has some Frost Giants and Fire Giants that are a little more like this and a little shorter and stouter, so a little more in line. The Hill Giants are supposed to be smaller than Cloud Giants and Storm Giants, so that's okay. We've got some translucent green. There's like a fiery elemental and some fire serpents. I don't know how close I can get these. It's kind of like a leech tentacle. I don't know how close I can get those. That's not bad. So this one's kind of like a leech tentacle. This is supposed to be like a gas serpent or something, or maybe an ooze. And this guy's like a fire elemental, but green. Let's see if he's a different sculpt than the red fire elemental. No, those are the same sculpt. I don't know if you can see that. Those are the same sculpt. So one box has an orange, one box has a green, and then same with these little flame snakes are the same leech kind of sculpt. So these guys are identical sculpts, just a green flame and an orange flame. You only get 3 of the green gas serpents. Oh no, you do get 4. I think the numbers are a little different than what they were doing before. There's a couple ghosts. These are one-offs. These are not 4 of the same. So you get like 3 of the guys and 1 of the girls. And a water elemental. That's hard to see because he's so glossy. But he's probably more detailed than the WizKids water elemental. We can get the other big guys first. Go throw the big guys. Here's a Naga and an Earth Elemental. The Earth Elemental's a little dinky if you look at these guys, especially for being on a large base and not a medium base. He's a little bit on the small side. Here's a Naga. That's perfect size and a fun sculpt. I'll go get the next level miniatures Naga over here. Okay, pardon the pause in the video. So this is, I gotta glue it back together. This is a next level miniatures Naga. So their bases and size are comparable. This one's Blacklist head's a little bigger. This is Scio Res. The fits aren't real good on the ones that they puzzle piece together and aren't one solid sculpt, which is why the glue popped. So I'm happy to have like one solid tough piece. There's an air elemental, and oh, these are the gas snakes. There, an air elemental. Those are nice, larger than medium size. Here's my WizKids Knight for scale. So they're definitely large. They're not humongous. And then we'll just start going through. This is the expansion. Yeah, this is the expansion set. So we'll just start unpacking these. Okay. So here's some ghouls. It's got good muscle tone. That's pretty good. Pretty good amount of detail. Here is a werewolf. He's a little small, right? So this ghoul is crouched a little bit, but this knight's pretty open stance. They're about the same size. This is a little small for a werewolf, maybe, but it's in scale for the other one, so that's not bad. So for each of those, I'm excited about the goblins when I get to them. Okay, so there's some wolves. They're standard wolves, they're okay. Nothing wrong with them. Harpies. Those are hard to come by, good harpies, so I'm happy to have that. I have 3 from Archon Studios. Mummies. Can never have too many different kinds of mummies. And wild boars. Those are cool. Like boar scale next to a person. I like that a lot. I like the wild boar a lot. I'm gonna keep 2 of those instead of 1 each. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got bugbears and bandits. Now I haven't been real happy. WizKids bugbears have been going kind of more towards like the Pathfinder ones with the big floppy ears, and Reapers are real big and cartoony. So these are in line with Path miniatures, and I don't have a lot of bugbears, so I'm real happy with that. Bandits with masks over their eyes. Just some clothy bandits. Some girl bandits. Death Knights. That's in scale. Cartoony sword. A little silly stance. You know, the cloak's like melts into his legs, but that's not bad. I'll take that. I guess that's it. Female bandits, death knights, mummies. Gargoyles and worms. Come on. Certainly don't need any more gargoyles. Everybody has a gargoyle. I have lots of gargoyles. But I guess they could be bat demons, night demons, and wormies, tremor worms. That's almost large. It's a little baby big worms. I have some Jugurama. That's like Spanish for let's play. I've got some Jugurama Siocast minis coming that I think are going to have worms in a similar size as that. So out of this box, I'm excited for the translucents, the boars, and the bugbears, and the naga. Out of this box, we have a huge dragon. Shot, yeah. So this is an Archon Studio model kit. So this is all pre-assembled. You know, it's probably about 5 pieces. You can see a joint in the tail here that's pretty egregious. But the wings are glued in real well. It's it's tough, man. I'm not gonna break that. Like, this'll snap, this'll crack. You know, the tail's not quite as long, but the body's a little beefier. It definitely has a bigger table presence thud. Oh, the base is separate, so you can see it's glued into the base, and this base is warped a little. So it might need a little boiling trick. It's pulling away right there. So they had to, basically coming out of the mold, this didn't fit on the base right, so they made it fit, and now it's pulling back apart. But you know, the heads are comparable size. The wingspan is comparable. These wings are actually bigger because they're bent. You know, this model kit retails for like $30, and you can get it for about $22. During Kickstarter, you could get, if you bought all 5, you could get them for like $16, and then add shipping. This is $36 for the whole box, not on sale, and free Amazon shipping. So basically, for the price of this model, you get the whole box with this guy in it. I like the details on these better, on the Archon Studio better, the hips, and gluing together the models is fun, but like, you can't beat the price on that unless you got the first one in the Kickstarter. Right. We have, did I lose my knight? There's my knight. Okay. So we have another demon or gargoyle. Let's figure out what the difference, what those are supposed to be. And automaton. So like Warforged. They're a little dinky. This is more going to be like a, not a shield guardian, but like a construct for a lab or something. Here is a bombardier beetle. So the scale on some of these is a little smaller than I'm used to from the blind box WizKids and Reaper, but the Nolzers are a little dinky. So there's like a zombie. They're pretty much in scale with this guy, and this guy's in scale with the Reaper Sur 4 scale. Yeah. So there's a zombie. There's a skeleton. The skeleton's a little cartoony. I'm not a fan of that. But remember, this is from 2019 Kickstarter, so this is before Reaper 5 and Reaper 6 and all the Wildspire, most of the Wildspire stuff. There's a kobold. He's perfect. The WizKids kobolds are so dinky, and the Reaper kobolds have so much different character that are inconsistent. Yeah, I guess all the zombies were the same. But I'm just not a huge fan. I really like those kobolds. They're the D&D style kobold, the little lizard people. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, here's some giant rats that almost look like wolves. Gnolls. So these are small for gnolls. Again, they're in line with Path miniatures, and they're not too bad for the very first Archon Studio Dungeons and Lasers Woodhaven, before they upped the scale because people complained that they were too small. And these are supposed to be spiders, but I think I will probably paint them as like giant ticks. The only thing that screams spider is the very front of the mouth. The rest of this, like the butt, screams beetle to me. So I'll probably just paint them like a glossy solid brown or black. Do that. Oh, here's the other big guys. I got to get an ogre out. Okay, so ogre and troll. Those are a little small. The troll is not that much bigger than a person. Here is a Hasbro troll. Those are not the right size. Let me see if I have. You know, everybody complained about next level miniatures. Here's a dinky next level miniatures troll. So their troll's better. That's maybe okay. Oh, this is before the rescale. This is the dinky one. So that's maybe okay. The troll... I'll have to look at my other ogres. The troll's too small. The ogre might be okay. Here's a bear. That's not bad. Just a straight up bear. It's a little... I don't know, it's a little cartoony. It's a little 2-bipedal. So those and the dragons and the elementals are the big ones in there. We should have some goblins, orcs, and troglodytes in this bag. Okay. Now these orcs are great. They're bigger than a human. They're chunkier than a human. They're not cartoony. I like that. I like those orcs. Those are in line with WizKids. Sometimes you're going to get that axe is a little too skinny. We got a floppy, ropey axe. Boil that in water and it'll fix itself. We have these troglodytes. That's almost like too much texture, but if you only do it like grayscale, where it's like mid-gray to light gray, that'll kind of wash out some of those details. So that's not bad. Only have one kind of goblin. I thought I had two kinds of goblin. I think there's like 3 goblins in the other set. There's archers and a shaman. That's the kind of goblin I like. Big pointy ears. Not the ones without the and long noses. Not the ones without the noses like the 4th edition goblins. Not a fan of. The scale's not as bad as I thought. That is Wildspire Miniatures Classic Creatures and Count Essential Set and Expansion Set. Again, for the rest of the Blacklist Miniatures Fantasy Series 1, they're missing the player characters and the one-off monsters like Vampire Lords. So I'm looking forward to those. Disclaimer, I did not pay full price for these. I'm part of the Amazon Vine review program. So after taxes, I'll owe about like $13 in taxes for all of this. It was about $70 worth of product, and I got the product for free, but I'll have to pay taxes on the value, so it'll cost me about $13. I expect that over time you'll be able to find sales on these. Most of Wildspire's sets that go for $30 to $40, you can find for $20 to $25. More than 10% off. So I expect that the same will happen with these, especially since they didn't have to pay for the molds. All they have to do is pay for the product, and they're not spending a ton on packaging. You can see they're just crammed in one single box. The expensive part's probably assembling the big dragon. Detail, I hope you saw in all the pictures, detail's pretty good. It's a normal PVC that should take spray paint without getting sticky or anything. It is PVC, it's not HIP, so it is going to have less detail than like an assembled model, a model kit, but it's better, it's as good as CMON. Maybe the sculpting wasn't as thoughtful as CMON. CMON does some pretty exaggerated stuff so that when you lose detail, it doesn't get lost. Like, this is a little shallow. This wrist armor going onto the sleeve, that's a little shallow. I would have liked that a little bit deeper. The head going into the neck, I would have liked a little deeper. But there's plenty of detail. There are lots of details, so if some of them get lost, it's not a huge deal. You know, you can make out individual hairs on the back of this Gnoll's head. They're not super fine. You know, underneath the skirt is clunky. It's not molded. It's just flat across because it's, you know, a two-piece mold. So, hope that helps you decide whether or not this is worth it, and I hope you didn't lose money on the Blacklist Lasting Tales Kickstarter. Thanks.